You are dirtier right now than you think. Not because you skipped a shower, not because you forgot to wash your hands, but because the very act of cleaning yourself, the daily ritual you perform without a second thought, may be slowly dismantling the biological system your body spent 2 million years building. We are the most hygiene-obsessed species in the history of life on this planet. We have entire aisles dedicated to it. 17-step skincare routines. We scrub, we lather, we sanitize, we exfoliate. And yet, chronic skin conditions are at an all-time high. Allergies are exploding, and a growing body of microbiological research is pointing the finger at the very products lining your bathroom shelf. Here is the paradox. The species that lived without soap for nearly all of its existence was not, by any clinical measure, dirtier than us. In several key biological metrics, skin microbiome diversity, immune resilience, rates of inflammatory skin disease, they were arguably healthier. So, what did they know that we don't? And more importantly, what did we lose when we decided that clean meant sterile? 200,000 to 300,000 years ago, living in the grasslands, forests, and riverbanks of sub-Saharan Africa. These were not primitive people. Their brains were identical to yours. Their emotional complexity, their social intelligence, their problem-solving capacity, the same. They composed music. They painted caves. They buried their dead with flowers. And they kept themselves clean. Not because of social pressure, not because of a beauty standard marketed to them, but because cleanliness at its core is a survival behavior. It is one of the oldest biological programs in the primate lineage. Watch chimpanzees for 10 minutes. You will see them grooming, picking, cleaning. Great apes spend hours each day in social grooming rituals, not just for parasites, but for neurological comfort. The act of being cleaned releases oxytocin, the same bonding chemical triggered by a mother holding her newborn. Cleanliness is not vanity, it is ancient social architecture. Our ancestors understood this intuitively without the language of biology to describe it. And they had a toolkit, a remarkably sophisticated one. Water was the foundation. Rivers, streams, lakes, not treated as obstacles but as daily infrastructure. Many hunter-gatherer communities, studied by anthropologists throughout the 20th century, bathed once or twice a day as a baseline practice. The Hadza people of Tanzania, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer populations on Earth, still do. Morning water, evening water, the body knows. But water alone was not enough, so they innovated. Clay. Red ochre clay, specifically, has been found at archaeological sites stretching back 164,000 years in South Africa. At Pinnacle Point, a coastal cave site, researchers discovered ground ochre mixed with fat, the oldest known cosmetic substance in human history. Clay acts as a natural absorber. It binds to excess sebum, the oily substance your skin produces, and to environmental particulates. It draws. It cleanses. Without stripping, without disrupting. Sand was an exfoliant. Fine riverbed sand, rubbed across skin in shallow water, mechanically removed dead skin cells, debris, and surface bacteria. The same principle behind modern physical exfoliants, but without the chemical interference. Plant ash. When organic matter burns, it produces a substance rich in potassium carbonate, a mild alkaline compound. When mixed with animal fat or water, it creates a primitive, reactive cleaning agent. This is chemically the ancestor of soap. Our ancestors were creating rudimentary soap-like substances tens of thousands of years before the Sumerians wrote down the first soap recipe around 2500 BCE. Urine. Yes. Before you recoil, urine is sterile at the point of production and contains urea, a compound so effective at breaking down organic matter and softening skin that it is still a clinically active ingredient in dermatological creams today. Ancient Romans used it to whiten teeth and clean cloth. It was not ignorance, it was chemistry without the periodic table. Plant saponins. This is perhaps the most elegant piece of ancestral ingenuity. Dozens of plants produce natural compounds called saponins, from the Latin sapo, meaning soap. When agitated in water, saponin-rich plants produce a lather, a real, foaming, cleansing lather. Soapwort, yucca root, soap bark, horse chestnut, agave. These plants were not accidentally discovered. They were systematically sought out and traded across ancient communities. Indigenous peoples across North America, South America, Africa, and Asia all independently arrived at the same biochemical solution. That is not coincidence. That is necessity driving convergent innovation. And then there was something else. Something we almost never talk about, the body's own cleaning system. Your skin is not a passive surface. It is an ecosystem. Right now, on every square centimeter of your body, there are approximately 1 million microorganisms. Bacteria, fungi, archaea, viruses. This is not infection. This is not contamination. This is your skin microbiome, and it is one of your body's most sophisticated defense systems. The skin microbiome works like a living shield. Commensal bacteria, meaning bacteria that live on you symbiotically to mutual benefit, compete with pathogenic bacteria for space and resources. They produce antimicrobial peptides. They regulate pH. They communicate with your immune system, training it to distinguish threat from neutral presence. A healthy, diverse skin microbiome is, by every modern measure, a sign of robust immune function. Now consider the modern shower. The average American showers for 8 minutes using products with a pH of around 9 to 10. Your skin's natural pH is 4.5 to 5.5, mildly acidic by design. That acidity is the first line of antimicrobial defense. Most conventional soaps and body washes temporarily destroy it. The microbiome disrupted. The acid mantle stripped. The skin barrier compromised. Your skin recovers. It always does. But if you repeat this process daily, sometimes twice daily, you are running a constant low-level disruption against one of your body's most essential biological systems. A 2019 study published in Cell analyzed the skin microbiomes of isolated Amazonian communities with minimal contact with industrialized hygiene products versus urban populations in the United States. The difference was striking. The Amazonian populations showed dramatically higher microbial diversity. The same metric used to measure gut health now applied to skin. Diversity equals resilience. The urban populations were, microbiologically speaking, impoverished. And here is the detail that should make you pause. The Amazonian communities were not dirty. By any observable or olfactory measure, they were clean. Their skin was clear. Their inflammatory skin conditions virtually absent. They were doing what humans had always done. Water, plants, clay, sun, movement, sweat, which it turns out contains its own antimicrobial compounds, including dermcidin, a peptide that actively kills pathogens on the skin surface. Sweat is not just waste, it is armor. The ancient toolkit was not primitive. It was precisely calibrated to work with the biology, not against it.